New Charmers. Charmer support was expected because they are the next animation chronicles thingy is Charmers. We're getting a Charmer anime next, so that makes sense. I guess we have the first couple of cards from these, and I mean, I will say the Sky Striker support as well as the branded support pretty good, so maybe they can make Charmers viable. I don't know. Charmers, the deck has never been a thing, right? Like Charmers as a deck hasn't really ever been good. They only had individually good cards in the extra deck, the Link 2 Charmers. Those were pretty good, or are still really good to this day. So let's see what we got here. We've got Charmers of the Grand Circle, a level 6 light spellcaster fusion, which needs 2+ Charmers and or familiar possessed monsters. You can only use the effect of this card's name once per turn. If this card is fusion summoned, you can activate and repeat this effect up to 4 times by choosing and applying one of the following up to the number of different attributes of monsters used as material. This card gains 800. Add a possessed spell trap from your deck to your hand. Return a card on the field to the hand, or special a spellcaster from the grave. Am I reading this right? That you can do the same effect over and over. So if you fuse 4 different attribute Charmers, you can add 4 spell traps from your deck to your hand. I mean, realistically, I feel like it sounds more broken than it is, because you're fusing 4 cards away and you're just replacing those 4 cards, but you've created a huge choke point in the meantime, right? Like, imagine getting impermed on that, or ashed on that, or whatever. If this card's fusion summoned, you can activate and repeat this effect up to 4 times. Does it activate 4 times, like, separately? Like, does it go onto the same chain, like, multiple times? I think so, right? Is it one activation that within that one chain link, it just repeats 4 times? Or does it, like, I think it starts a new chain for each? No, that's not possible. It cannot start a new chain each time, because that is no longer the same. Like, if you activate the effect and resolve it, you would no longer have the same trigger condition of if this card is fusion summoned. That would be gone. That window is over. I think the way it reads is that this card activates multiple times, which is not unheard of, by the way. It's not unheard of that cards, like the same card, can trigger multiple times in the same chain. It's just not very common. But an example is Branded Regained, for example. Branded Regained has 2 different effects that can trigger at the same time. When, for example, let's say your opponent summons a Bestial by banishing your Dark in the Grave. Both trigger conditions are met, so you can activate both effects of Branded Regained in the same chain. So, like, Chainlink 1 Branded Regained to draw, Chainlink 2 Branded Regained to summon. That's possible. So in this instance, I guess it's just a little bit weird because it's the same effect of the same card activating multiple times. But the way it reads here is that it would work like this, which, funnily enough, means you can chain block it from an Ash Blossom, for example. If, let's say, you fuse this with 3 monsters, you could go Chainlink 1 effect to search, Chainlink 2 effect to search, Chainlink 3 effect to revive, and then your opponent just can't Ash the first 2. Imperm will destroy you if that's the case. Like, Imperm will always destroy that. But like, and even if you let's say you want to search multiple times and you go Chainlink 1 to search, Chainlink 2 to search, Chainlink 3 to search, if they Ash on that, it only negates one of those, right? Repeat the choose one of the following effects and apply that effect process up to the number of original attributes types used for. Look, the wording on this card is weird. We don't know exactly how it's going to work yet. We're going to need to wait for some clarification. However, I will say if it was just one chain link, I think it would be worded differently, right? Because if it was one chain link, wouldn't it just say, like, apply 4 of those following effects? You can choose multiple, or like you can choose the same one multiple times. Like, it would say something like, just apply one of those 4 up to the number of attributes. I have no idea, dude. Activate and repeat this effect up to 4 times. I have no idea. Honestly, I don't think it matters that much either, because realistically, I think it's just gonna make a difference into Ash Blossom. Because, I mean, that's the key difference, right? Like, if your opponent has Ash Blossom, if they're all one chain link, you're gonna stop everything. If it's multiple chain links, then you're only gonna stop one of the searches, but they're still gonna get the rest. But yeah. Spellbook of the Grand Circle. Wait, Spellbook? Spellbook? Is it gonna be called Spellbook? Is it gonna be searchable by the Spellbook cards and stuff like that? Normal spell. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. Add four Charmer monsters with different attributes from your deck, grave, and/or banishment to your hand. Then return 2 cards from your hand to your deck. Okay, you know what? This is the type of cards that they need to make Charmers an actual deck. Because Charmers are not good Yu-Gi-Oh cards, except for the Link monsters. So, like, this kind of crazy effect is kind of what is necessary, I suppose. The problem is, even with that, you're searching 4 cards that are all pretty mediocre. They basically have to make new Charmers. Because you're not going to play the freaking old 20-year-old, like the 20-year-old Charmer flip monsters or something like that. But yeah, if realistically, this is just a +1. It is just a +1 because you're searching 4, you're putting 2 back. It sounds crazy, but it is technically just a +1. You can banish this card from your grave, fusion summon a fusion monster using Charmers and their familiar possessed from your hand or field. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects when that monster... Okay, well, there you go. If you fuse with this, I guess it doesn't matter if it's one chain link or multiple because your opponent can't respond anyways. Who cares? One question. Isn't this card technically 5 monsters on board immediately? Because listen to me, okay? Activate this, add 4 Charmers with different attributes from your deck or to your hand, put 2 cards back, use the graveyard effect, fuse those 4 Charmer monsters into the new fusion monster, and then just use the effect to special summon all 4 back. And then you have the fusion monster and the 4 spell. I mean, I don't even know if that's good. I'm not sure if that's good or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, in theory, you can do that. And you don't have to summon 4 times. You can summon 2 or 3 and then search cards. The problem is, this card is good. The cards you're searching, it's like an incredible amount of engine requirements so far, right? This entirely depends on if they make new good Charmer monsters. If they make new good Charmer monsters, then this is a broken card, right? Like if you can actually play good cards in your deck that this searches that are also not terrible to draw themselves, then okay, sure. But if you're playing like a million bad Charmers just to resolve this one spell card that you immediately lose the game if it gets ashed or purged or whatever, then that's not going to be good, right? There are newer than the old ones. Yeah, I know, but all of them are not. Like, none of them are good. None of them are good. There are newer Charmers, but none of them are strong. It's only the Link monsters that are good. And even the Link monsters aren't even good in the traditional sense of like combo pieces or whatever. They're more like, you know, extra deck utility tools for going second. What if you open this spell and one of the Charmers? Well, you have to add 4 Charmers with different attributes. So yes, you would probably have to play multiple targets for this of each Charmer, because if you play 4 one-ofs in your deck as targets for this, it would be super likely that you have one of them in your hand. You have to play more. You have to play more than 4 because otherwise the card is unusable if you draw one of them, unless you have a way to discard it to the grave or something. Right? So, I mean, look, we only got these 2 cards, and funnily, these 2 cards read crazy, right? Like, if these 2 cards were printed into any good Yu-Gi-Oh archetype, it would be complete insanity, right? Like a spell card that searches 4 cards from an archetype in one activation at a +1 is insane, right? But the problem is, it's the Charmer archetype. So we'll see how it goes. For now, I don't really see the applications, but the problem is we are at the start. of the reveals, right? Like, this is probably not the only cards that they're making for Charmers, because Charmers is going to get a couple of anime episodes, so we're going to be here for a while. We're going to see more cards, and eventually, maybe if they make new main deck Charmers that are worth playing and worth searching, then we could be talking a Yu-Gi-Oh deck. But so far, I don't know if that's the case.